I would also like to know, how is the university, your panel, your committee, are they taking into consideration the master plan for higher education as they are making all of these cutbacks? How does that play a role in the decisions that are being made?
Well, unfortunately, the master plan for higher education in the state of California is dead.
Can you bring it back?
I wish I could.
What do you think your role can be in helping to bring it back? To make education affordable to all the minority students that would not have access to education. This is who these cutbacks are impacting.
I will, as I mentioned earlier, continue to advocate anywhere I can for the support for public higher education. I think, as you know, we're in an extremely difficult time economically. I do think things will get better. There are some signs on a national basis they are getting better. But the state of California has some fundamental structural problems that have to be addressed. And I wish I could be more optimistic that they will be addressed, but I am certainly have had enough faith that I believe there is leadership available that hopefully will be willing to come forward and begin dealing with structural issues.
I'm fucking pissed if these people are telling us that we're sharing the suffering, that we're all victims, that they're taking a 10% pay cut, that they're doing this and they're doing that. They're not fucking taking a big as hit as we are. We got shit to pay for. We're students. We're not making $300,000 a year. Come on.
Who doesn't want to be in debt by the time they're in their adult years?
I know.
That's what's probably gonna happen. My dad's putting three of his kids through college all at the same time, and we're all gonna be in fucking debt by the time we graduate. That's fucked up. We need to stop making college an elitist place to be, and we need to make this equal for everybody.
The sacrifices that students are making are literally the quality of their education. The quality of having the sufficient content covered, of having access to their professors, of having feedback on their writing and their assignments. I teach critical thinking, critical writing, and critical researching, and when you have a student population of 250 students, you're forced into testing methods that are standardized in order to keep up with the workload, instead of being able to do more one-on-one writing and feedback systems that really give students the information that they need to grow as critical thinkers.
Sacrifices, well, I know like in my major and in like people in my department and other people, they have had classes cut. So they're paying more, and yet the classes are being cut, so they have to stay here longer. So they're just going to keep putting more and more money into their education.
I have to kind of schedule my classes around so that I'm able to look for work so that I can help pay for my tuition and rent.
People working till 12 or 1, and a lot of stuff, activities that they used to do, they can't do here anymore. And hang out with friends, college students do. They have to sometimes, work 2 part-time jobs and school.
They have to cut most of their classes because they have to pick up second jobs just to pay for the tuition and just to pay for other needs like rent and car payments and gas.
And plus gas, the way gas is looking, the gas is a big problem for some people too. People can't make it to class because of gas. I mean, who can come to school from another side of town and make it to class on time, and they run out of gas because they had to buy these fucking books. Seriously, when you think about it, they had to buy books just so they can go to school, yet they have no money for gas. The school with the books and everything, they should have the prices a little bit lower. We shouldn't have to spend like $200-300 on books, that we're gonna use once a year and then have to buy a whole new book for the teacher because they wants to use a new edition when the only thing that's changed is a picture.
Our goal has been to increase education, access to higher education to first-generation college students, to women, to students of color, as well as working and middle-class families. And those are the populations that are being hurt the most by the tuition increases and the cuts to classes and the reduction in enrollment.
I was raised by a single mother who had not graduated from high school, and so I earned the funds to pay for my own education. It's part of the reason why it took me 35 years to educate myself to the doctoral level, because I still had responsibilities of family and children and care and work that did not allow me to go full-time and still be a part of the community.
One of the things that faculty have agreed to in order to try to address the budget crisis is they are required now to take 9 mandatory furlough days each semester, which also then is essentially the equivalent of a 10% decrease in their salary. What we were told was that that would help to save classes and save jobs. But here just at Fresno State alone, we saw the reduction of faculty in terms of 200 layoffs, and also over 1,000 classes were canceled just this last semester, with more cancellations and layoffs coming in the spring semester.
I didn't know until the end of July that I even had a job. Couldn't travel, sat at home worrying about whether I was one of the unemployed for good.
We're getting seriously overworked, undervalued. We're not being reimbursed for professional expenses like travel to conferences where we're representing the university, which is a situation that wouldn't be allowed if we were talking football teams.
They need to stop giving money to the athletics department. Yeah! What good is the athletics department if they don't have a fucking college to play for?
I am terminally overworked. I'm disgruntled, I'm angry, pretty pissed off in general, and really struggling to try and fulfill the kind of commitment that I have to my students, because I chose to work here 25 years ago because I was committed to working with working class students and providing a higher education that would allow for the advancement of California as an entity and for the advancement of society, and I see that crumbling.
We put the musical chairs event together to raise awareness about what is going on here at Fresno State and across the CSU. And the idea of the musical chairs was really, it's symbolic of what is happening. With each round of the game, a chair is removed, and that means there's one less opportunity for somebody to get an education. That means one less seat in the classroom, one less course being offered, one less faculty member here on campus to teach a course. And so that was the point of the musical chairs game. And we put our own little twist on it, in that in addition to the traditional game of removing a chair with each round to symbolize the losses that are occurring here at Fresno State, those students and faculty who were lucky enough to secure a seat in the game for the next round had to pay to stay, which is symbolic of the other thing that is happening. Those students who are fortunate enough to be able to get a class or to matriculate into the university here, they're having to pay more in order to do so. The face was Chancellor Reed, and Chancellor Reed is the basically CEO of the CSU system. We want to make sure that when we're giving money back to him through furloughs and salary cuts, that money is staying in the classroom. And the reality is it's a tough budget year. We had $586 million cut from the CSU budget.
What's your name?
Social Harvey.
Congratulations. Again, this is not going to cover the cost of your tuition increase.
You know, I had to sit there and watch students in each department get eliminated. I had to sit there and watch people pulling money out of my hand, like my tuition being taken from me. I had to sit there and watch teachers be probably laid off because of the budget. I think to myself, if these teachers are being cut, and some of them have tenure, that even though I'm the only one that still was standing, that represents 1%. That 1% is like barely a percentage of people who are going to graduate in that department.